Zerg, take it away, guys.
I'd like to refer you as a bit of a hybrid rather than people's favorite Zerg, because you do experience with Terran on ladder.
Yeah, I do actually play quite a bit of Terran. I like warming up with Terran.
We'll find out.
Yeah. It's going to be a bit of a test.
How good is your Terran, actually? Would you say, like, are you mid-master?
Well, I was playing on the NA server because I was a little bit too scared to go on the...
Let's talk about a real server like Europe.
I've only played Terran on the NA server. I'm kind of like Roddy. Like, I just take the the easy path. And
oh my God!
I did get GM on NA with Terran.
Wow!
But I'm not sure what that means. I don't think it means much. I think it means you are capable of using the keyboard, and then you get GM on NA.
We are not on the right track here. Let's talk a little bit about the match here. Patience versus QXE. One of the Korean players that moved to Germany here and that has been practicing a ton, who showed some very good things, mostly against Zerg though. He's taking on a Terran in QXE who we haven't seen all that much lately. He's had a few inconsistent performances, sometimes qualifying for events, sometimes not, sometimes playing really well, sometimes losing to guys you would not expect him to lose to. Now going up against Patience, what's your feeling about this match? How do you think this might go, and what do you think in general?
Well, yesterday watching Patience play was really amazing for me. I knew he was really good, but yesterday he really impressed me. But that was in PvZ mostly. I haven't seen too much of his PvT. But I feel like right now in the current metagame, this matchup is kind of favoring Protoss. I don't know what you as a Protoss player think about that.
In my own games, definitely not. But in all of the games that I see of top players, yeah, it does look so.
So I think Patience is the clear favorite in this match for sure. But, you know, QXE, you know, he's been kind of under the radar for a while. You know, maybe he's been practicing really hard. Maybe he's got some special builds up his sleeve. He is an old school player, and I know one thing about him is that he really likes to attack. So I'm sure that these games are going to be quite exciting.
Yeah, QXE actually a while back, he was playing very Molder heavy style, getting some Hellbats, really trying to apply pressure very consistently throughout the game. And as much as I think that it was the right thing to do for GG earlier to try and win versus Hero, and it kind of proved true because in the game he did well, he did just that, just not enough aggression. I think if QXE goes for something like this and it just plays his A game, he's definitely going to have a serious shot at taking out his opponent here, which again will basically put him in a situation where he would have to win just one more match to qualify onto the round of 8.
Yeah, things can go very fast here in the groups. The maps are going to be Heavy Rain, then Yonsu, and what was the last one?
Fallen Knight on Frost, I think, which is either way, it's like, I would say the 3 maps that you play, or the 3, 4, 5 maps, you know, there is like only 1 or 2 maps that I think really must be vetoed, which a lot of the time is going to be Daedalus and Alterzim. Yeah. So if PvT was always played best of 5, I do think this will be the 2 maps that will always be vetoed. So even a Habitation Station, pretty okay. We saw a very good game earlier between Hero and 4GG on it. Indeed. And Heavy Rain, pretty cool map too. One of the new maps in that matchup, in my opinion. Just like you have a lot of blinking options.
Yeah, huge.
You can hide buildings, sun on the map. Oh, he's only 17 actually.
That's very young.
Very young player.
Already living in Europe, you know, experiencing things,
well,
other cultures.
Where were you when you were 17?
Actually, when I was 17, I went to Korea for 1 week for the World Cyber Games.
Just for 1 week?
Yeah, just 1 week. I won the Dutch qualifier and I went there for a week. I had an awesome experience. It was the first time a girl liked me. she was Korean, so you know
And then you lost the tournament horribly, I bet, because of it.
I didn't do very well in the tournament, but that was expected. I wasn't like a top player. Like the Koreans were always going to win in StarCraft Brood War. But I had a really good time. It was actually the first time I went to an international event, and I don't know about your first time, but my first time will always be special.
Why are you talking so sweet on Valentine's Day about your first time, man? This is... We're here for StarCraft, man.
I was there for StarCraft, man. Things just happened.
All right, this guy here is clearly here for StarCraft QXE. He actually went for some climbing today. QXE is definitely one of the most fit gamers.
Yeah, he does parkour as well, I believe.
I think a lot of players going to a tournament like this, they will want to warm up, practice as much as possible just right before their match. But QXE, he wants to go into this match with a clear mindset. Yeah. Basically relaxed and having done some sport at noon. Definitely going to help being relaxed. But being relaxed is not everything. You need good builds, you need good execution. And against this guy here on your screen, Patience, who's been playing so well against Zerg, if he plays similarly versus Terran, this is going to be so hard for QXC to beat.
This guy is an absolute monster. I'm really curious to see if he's going to go for the very kind of predictable blink all-in. But at the same time, I feel like he's just so good at all aspects of the game that he's just might be able to just play a macro upgrade-oriented style and then play it safe. He probably doesn't know too much about QXC.
Like a double forge?
Yeah, I think double forge style, 2-base defense into a later 3rd base.
That's very specific. Likely. Are you sure you don't play Protoss as well?
Well, I watch all the tournaments.
I know
so
something
recently,
to be ashamed of for a Zerg, but...
I watch all the tournaments, so recently I've watched a lot of Protoss, much to my dismay.
So you watch a lot of tournaments, even non-Zerg and Terran games?
Yeah, well, recently I have to watch Protoss because that's all it is, and like from the quarterfinals and on. So.
Oh, I'm not sure if that's a burn or... But it's pretty true, though. There's been a lot of Protoss action. I don't know. Personally, I like to focus a lot on Protoss games, which these days is a lot of games, but when they were not doing well, I was not necessarily watching too much of the other matchups. Like it's difficult. Don't you feel when you're a pro player, like you feel you have to keep up a lot with your race and paying attention to others?
Yeah.
Means like you're going to be...
It's a different feeling for sure. Like if you're watching your own race, you're really paying attention, like you're trying to pick up on things and you're always trying to learn. And then if you watch another race, you're just kind of laid back and you can really I feel like you have a similar experience to probably like what most viewers have. You're just trying to enjoy the game and the commentary and all that.
The game's getting underway here. Heavy Rain is going to be the first map. And you know what? You did such a good job with the introductions that whenever I cast with you, it's going to be you every single time. So build up your voice. Be ready. I want this to be the epicest introduction you've ever done. As we do see Patience here. Actually, is he talking to himself? Need to motivate himself maybe a little bit.
Come on, you got this.
You got this. Get double forge. Get those upgrades going.
Get them Templars. And in the top left position, the red Terran player representing the United States of America and Team Complexity, it is QXC. And then in the bottom right, the blue Protoss, representing Team Alien Invasion and South Korea, it is Patience.
And Germany, because he moved here.
A little bit, representing Dusseldorf, the team house.
That was very smooth. That was a very manly introduction for somebody who has such a sweet voice as you do.
Thank you, I guess.
All right, nothing too funky happening just yet. No proxies or anything like that from either of those players. Supply depot at the ramp by QXC.
Yeah,
you're the Terran resident here between you and me. So what does this mean?
Well, it means that he's probably a little bit more vulnerable against like stalker attacks, like any kind of proxy. But QXC is probably not thinking about that. He's probably thinking like, Patience is a Korean, so Patience is going to think that he's better than me, and Patience is going to go for a macro game. So sometimes foreign players can kind of abuse that fact.
Yes.
I remember a lot of times in my career when I was playing Koreans, I knew that they thought they were going to beat me, and I played extra greedy. So maybe that's kind of like what QXC mindset is right now.
Okay, and keep in mind, we saw a proxy earlier in Hero vs 4GG. On this map, there is a lot of proxy possibilities, inside, especially inside of the base. There is a lot of room to put it in many different places. So putting a supply depot here, you actually avoid getting proxied automatically because you will spot the probe going in.
Yeah, and he is also scouting for a proxy, so maybe that's actually what he was thinking. Good for you to point that out. Looks like now he's just going to scout for the Protoss base.
Patience is scouting himself for proxies around his natural expansion. Both of these players, they're respecting each other a lot early on in that first game. I know this is kind of the proxy map, but in PvT, it's not only not very common, but I don't know, like in the first match of a series, I wouldn't have been surprised if they had not scouted for proxy at all, except maybe in base. Now they're really, both of them, being very careful.
I mean, neither of these guys play a lot of GSL or like top WCS games in the last year, so they probably don't know too much about each other. So this probably feels more like a ladder game to them. And actually, QXC going for the double Reaper very early on. What do you think about this opening?
On this map, definitely one of the better choices because you have a lot of room to go around. And Patience is not one of these Protosses that walls off one side of his base, which actually on this map would be quite hard to make sure the Reaper cannot get in there freely. As he will have to work with, this is going to be tough for Patience to basically hold on. against. He's going to have to play very defensively, possibly get a second Stalker before he can start any kind of tech like a Forge or Robo. And he's going to have to stay at home, most of all, with his, not only his Mothership Core, but his Stalker. That means usually scout-wise you don't do well, but now he has a probe that is sneaked across the map. Yeah. Such a nice timing, and double Reaper following this up. So we're going to have 4 Reapers in total. He's going to be able to see it too, and the timing on that second barracks.
Yeah, Patience already saw the 2 Reapers, and he's going to see everything that's going on. He's got the Mothership Core in his main, and here come the first 2 Reapers. We'll have to see what he can get done. There's 1 probe being targeted down very fast. It does go down, and another one doesn't quite get killed.
Oh, he actually canceled this first Stalker to make the Stargate quicker. So he has only the Mothership Core. QXC could do quite some damage with this. Yeah, but especially the Mothership Core is going to be very, very slow. 3 or 4 Reapers can kill a Stalker very, very quickly. So this is going to be very tricky for Patience not to take any damage, but if he's able to defend well against those Reapers and gets his Oracle across the map, he should be able to do quite some damage with it.
But the probe is going down right now, and here come the 4 Reapers. So we'll have to see what QXC exactly can get done here.
Do you think QXC is going to see the Stargate or not? It seems very unlikely.
I think he probably wants to go into the main, though.
Yeah. But Photon Overcharge is up. If he goes
There's a lot of probes at the natural. He can get those probes.
He's bringing an SCV as well to try and tank some of this damage. Photon Overcharge not being used early here. I think he's... Oh, is he going to use it on the expansion? I don't think he should. The Reapers now going for one of the Stalker. Photon Overcharge is going to be used. Oh, and all the 4 Reapers survive. They're going to get in the main. They might be able to get 1 or 2 probes before the Stalkers get there. I'm surprised he hasn't pulled back the red one. Yeah, the low hit points one.
I feel like with 4 Reapers, he only got 1 probe.
Oh, the Oracle might fly right above those... Reapers, that's exactly what's going to happen. QXC knows now. He needs to get Marines in position to defend against this. He has enough to defend in one of his bases, but possibly not in the other one.
And the Reaper's actually jumping back into the main, and right now the Stalkers are out of position. Another probe goes down. That's up to 4 workers killed right now.
And Patience still goes for the main. The Oracle's not being paid attention to. It is going to die. Oh my god. Such a good start here for QXC.
Amazing for QXC.
He forced the Photon Overcharge, and behind his Patience, he starts a Robo and a Forge. He's getting another Oracle. Not that QXC knows. He's getting the eBay. If he gets 1 turret per mineral line and places it really well, he's going to be in a great position in this game.
He's got a lot of Marines as well.
Yeah, he's moving out across the map. All of those Marines attacking the natural, plus a simultaneous attack with the Reapers in the main, will be very, very hard for Patience to handle here, don't you think?
Yeah, I feel like this opening actually. I mean, I don't play TVP, but do you feel like this is something that we see often? Because I've not seen this that much.
Yeah, like this is super situational. This is just everything following this up here for QXC is because of everything that's happened. He held against the Oracle easily. He's like, you know what? I'm just gonna counterattack because I have way more army than you. He has 23 army supply right now against 13. Steam Pack is actually getting pretty close to finishing.
These Marines are getting into the mineral line, but the Photon Overcharge just got enough energy, so probably not too much damage being done.
Yeah.
And the Reaper's getting chased off. Nice defense by Patience. He knew what was going to happen there, and he didn't take too much damage.
Yeah. I really could see this do a lot more here, but with Steam Pack not being finished, I don't think it would be worth it to get into the middle line to try and trade the Marines for...
And another Oracle just flying straight into a turret, and... So far, Patience's Oracles have not done quite as much damage as you might expect.
He's doing a big mistake every time with them. Every time you send an Oracle in to kill stuff, you always need to be looking at it. And the first time he did not, and now the second time again, he took quite some damage on it.
I've always never watched a TVP game where Oracles got this much dismantled. I mean, great job by QXC. I guess you never watched
my stream. And Twilight Council will go down as well as Robo Bay at the same time here. So usually when this happens, this is for Colossus plus Blink Stalker play, which on this map kind of makes sense, because without that, it's going to be very, very hard to defend against those mid-back drops.
There's already a 20 supply difference, and right now QXC is looking to push again. I'm not sure there is actually a Photon Overcharge available. Looks like there is not. So this is actually a big attack. So many probes are going to go down here.
Yeah, he's already killed quite a few. 19, 20 in total. Patience falling 10 workers behind his opponent here. The Mothership Core is gonna die. There's not gonna be any Photon Overcharge. This might be game right here and then. Nice timing by QXC. I did not expect the game to go like this.
30 probes have gone down already, and I have to say, QXC is looking very, very dominant here. What a great opening by him.
And you know what? He has very late. Actually, look on the right-hand side. +1 finishing concussive shells as well. +1 ground armor for the Protoss. But behind this QXC, he does have very late tech to medivacs. And he might choose to press forward. He does have Steam Pack here. Chooses not to use it just yet. He's going to choose to escape with it.
Shouldn't he be targeting Stalkers right now with the Marauders?
But he will be trading not that well. You see, Starport is almost finished. If he waits for medivacs, his army is going to be
But then
that
there
much
will be
stronger.
Colossus by that time as well.
There
though.
will be a Colossus, maybe.
Perhaps 2 even.
He's
mean,
gonna,
Chrono
the thing
Boost is
is,
pretty
he
good.
knows he's quite far ahead on economy right now. So if he translates that into an even bigger army lead than he has right now, and he goes for a follow-up attack, he's going to be able to extend his lead, possibly end the game as well. If you look at the supply, this is very scary right now. 58, 59 SCVs against 39 probes,
Yeah,
and
that is
44
huge.
army supply to 27. Those first 2 medivacs, he can do so much with them. And you know what? He's not going to commit completely to it. He's got additional barracks behind this macroing. He's getting a 3rd command center. I love QXC's position in this first game.
He's also the whole game. He's pretty much not been supply blocked. His micro has looked good. He's looked really, really on point, I have to say. QXC really impressing me this game so far.
I feel like Patience is never going to be able to take a 3rd base unless QXC really messes up with his army control, loses a lot, and allows Patience to take a 3rd base. But if he just plays it fairly passively, stays outside the base of Patience, you should be able to do well. But actually, as I say that, I realized there is such a huge supply gap that QXC could probably even attack and keep on trading.
Oh yeah, only
before
one
Patience
Colossus, and
gets
there's
too
so
Colossus.
many Marauders. How many? He's got
Yeah.
16 Marauders, so even this one Colossus is not that scary.
Yeah,
It's
there's
only
no
gonna,
thermal lens too.
gonna come down to Patience control, but this attack is so scary by QXC.
Yeah, without thermal lens, definitely going to be tough here. Patience needs more zealots to
Deciding
help
to
them
drop
tank.
into the main, very nice.
Yeah, this is
Patience
definitely
realizes
the way.
what's going on.
Should do this. Widowmine burrowed on that 3rd base as well. How is Patience ever going to take a 3rd base? I just don't see it happening.
Two Stalkers go down almost immediately without QXC losing a unit, and right now he's going to be able to attack the main and the natural at the same time. More Stalkers going down. QXC microing this excellently. At the same time, the Marauders are rushing into the natural. He does want to take out that Colossus, and he actually takes it out immediately. Doesn't lose even a unit there.
You're doing the play-by-play so well that I don't even know what to say anymore, man. Doing a good job, Reds.
Thank you.
Really proud of you. Good commentating skills here. As we do have 3 extra gateways being made here by Patience. I don't know, he's kind of stabilized here. I really thought that he was going to take wall damage. He did take a little bit of damage, but QXC, he did not completely go for it. Are you surprised by this choice? Don't you think it would be better to commit?
I think it's a good choice. I mean, look at the supply. His 3rd base has landed. He's got his double extractors. He's already saturated. He's got a depot wall at his 3rd base. And he's still attacking. He's in total control.
Yeah.
If you looked at this game without seeing the names, you would not think this was a Korean Protoss who just got top 4 at DreamHack playing against QXC. He is owning Patience right now.
Yeah,
this is domination.
He's owning him. I don't see a better way to put it. Actually, Patience anticipating a drop here. He's going to reposition his army. He had an observer just right above this. QXC didn't pay attention. This could be what Patience needs to come back in this game, but it does look like there's going to be too much anyway. The units down the ramp, even attacking onto those Zealots right now. QXC is going to steam in there. He's going to try to get one of these Colossus. Oh, there was a Guardian Shield. It's barely going to fall. But nice hold for Patience. If you look at the supply, though, I don't think it should matter regardless.
I mean,
oh, the observer.
QXC can almost do whatever he wants right now. That was not a favorable attack for him, but he's so far ahead.
Yeah.
60 supply ahead. His upgrades 2-2 are kicking in reasonably soon, and Patience does not really have anything on the way that's going to save him. He doesn't have Storm on the way. He can't really take a 3rd base anytime soon.
He's on 2 starports. He's getting a Ghost Academy. Man, I don't want to say anything about QXC, but if you look at the Terrans here, I would have said the ones that have the best chance against those Korean Protosses would be like Polt, Jack-G, Innovation, 4GG. Definitely not QXC, but QXC here is showing the Terrans the way. This is how you need to play against Protoss if you want to be successful. He's
really, really impressive, actually.
And you know, I kind of predicted he was going to be Marauder heavy, and this is working out to be very, very good for him here in this game. I guess he did have the super lead early on. And those Stalkers are going to blink down the ramp. They need to target on the Vikings, but there is no Zealots to tank. They die. The Manor Mules are going to be dropped.
Wow, that confidence.
Well,
and all the Colossus die. All these Stalkers are going to die. 2 Name Marauders are left, and QXC 100% going to take this first game. And what a dominating performance! I mean, we talked about these groups the whole time with QXC and Mana like being the weaker players, but QXC is proving everybody wrong. Just destroying Patience in this first game, not even really close. Like, this attack will get held back.
Actually, this was maybe a little bit of early
Manor Mule
dropped. I think he's still going to win, but
his macro behind this is still insane.
Yeah, he's getting a Force Command Center now. He has the Ghost Academy up. And QXC, he's now 2-2 on upgrades, whereas Patience is 2-1. You know what? If Patience This reminds me of a game I saw in, I think it was WCS America, where Mr. Bitter in Rotterdam, they kept saying, the Protoss might be okay somehow, he might be able to pull a comeback, and then he completely got rolled in the big fight. So this might be what happens here, but if QXC is not careful,
on the way.
Yeah, if he's not careful, if he does not keep on applying pressure, and good storms hit his army, he's going to be in trouble. But we have an observer just right above this army. I'm surprised he's actually not following it. As Patience should know he's up against Ghost. Or he could kill those rocks to buy himself a little bit of time.
He needs a little bit of time. Like, I feel like in PvT, once there's Storm, if you miss a couple of Templars, it doesn't really matter how far Terran is ahead. There's still a chance for Protoss. So QXC would really do himself a huge favor to end it right here.
He's going to go round. Actually, he's
stimmed for no reason.
Oh, just a few of his units. He has 2 Vikings only against a single Colossus. The thing is, since he's so Marauder heavy, as long as he spreads out very, very well, he's not going to do too bad. Storm 30 seconds away from finishing. Patience tries to buy some time with his Stalker, but it backfires as QXC, sorry, uses Steam Pack, and actually he's going to go for a big drop in the main. He realized there's probably nothing there, and he's right. It's so hard for Patience to... Oh, actually, those units are going to be caught out of position. He could just blink and kill the Medivacs if those are picked up, and that's what's going to happen. Oh my god, he's catching up on supply a little bit here.
But the main Nexus will go down. The Colossus is trying to chase, but this Colossus is also in danger of being target fired. Killing the Nexus is a nice move, but at the same time, I feel like QXC is throwing away a little bit too many units. He will get away with these 2 Medivacs. And now
QXC has done this pretty well.
Patience will kill all the units, but what about his economy?
You know what, Patience?
Is it enough?
He just went super Stalker heavy to try and counter those Medivacs, and that's going to be counterproductive in the next fight. You only want to go super Stalker heavy when you're on 6 or 7 Colossi. In this case, he has a single one, and he's going to want to look to basically counter before there's too many Ghosts to try and do some damage. But if you look at the supply, there is no way this is going to work. 107 army supply to 75.
And QXC is on 4 bases. Like, he was attacking the whole time, but he did not stop macroing. He's got 3-3 halfway done, 4 Marauders, 6 Marines at a time, 3 Medivacs at a time. Now he's got Vikings. So QXC is not stopping.
Yeah, he's actually going to pull back here a little bit, as he might be worried about the Templars.
He might want go. He might want to add Ghosts.
Yeah, he has a few, but very, very few. Only 3.
Not that many.
Not quite happy-esque here of a composition.
But still, I feel like his army composition perfectly counters Patience.
Yeah.
So the next attack...
Patience is way too Stalker heavy, man. 14 Stalkers. You only go up to like 20 Stalkers when you have many, many Colossi, but right now he has a single one. I'm surprised he's not trying to make more, actually, because he already has a few Templars. I guess he knows there's a ton of Vikings anyway, so...
Only 2 Templars against 5 Ghosts.
Oh, we might have a fight. Patience needs to blink away, actually. This is a really bad position for him. QXC should not attack through down there, because there is the rocks to worry about, and also that small
He has to go around.
And oh, that Templar actually has quite a few feedbacks here, 3 in total, or 2 Storms. Nice scan goes down by QXC. Let's see how he sets this attack up here. The Observer's gonna die. This is pretty cool.
One Ghost is at the front. Let's see how the EMPs are. The Templar is in the back. And QXC doing a good job, just sending a few units at a time forward. And Patience is gonna have to go in at some point.
Yeah,
just
just photon overcharge. She's gonna expire eventually. He does not have another one ready, and I think he might go for it. He's thinking about it. He keeps on pulling back every single time. He does not even have charge. He starts charge right now. Upon realizing that.
So late.
Yeah,
he does have 3 Storms though.
When you have this many Zealots, not having charge should be a crime. To be punished legally, man. And Storm's gonna miss the army completely.
Only 2
here.
Storms left.
The Ghosts not doing much actually. QXC
pulling back.
Yeah, he's might be going full Todd here if he does not attack and let Patience come back, man.
Full Todd, huh?
Yes. There's actually a Widow Mine on that other expansion location of Patience.
Very nice map control.
Even in the middle of the map, there's one.
Yeah.
And additional command centers were made. QXC maybe should... Oh, he's going for... What? He's throwing down Ghost Academies. He's going full...
He's going for nukes.
Nuclear mode, man.
QXC being a bit of a show-off here.
He has to be careful, man.
And once nice EMP on the Zealots, although not getting the Templars. There's more Metal Muse, but there's still...
Oh, those EMP barely missing the Templars. One snipe went down on one of those, but not enough to kill it. Photon Overcharge is almost up. And Charge is about to finish. I think Patience, he wants that to finish 15 seconds away from finishing.
Snipes on the Templars. There's no more Storms left. This is QXC's moment. He's going in.
Indeed, Storm gonna hit a part of this army. Pretty big Storm actually, but the Colossus is gonna fall. QXE needs to start a step a little bit more. Actually, not even. He just EMPs this army. He's going to trade very, very well against what Patience has. And thank God he went now. I think if he goofed around a little bit too much more, he might have lost.
GG. Wow. Dominating game. I'm impressed.
QXE.
I'm impressed.
He's like, I just thought that he's some freedom, man.
That was nothing to him.
He's not impressed when
I just went climbing, then I took out Patience just like that in the first game, drink some water, do it again in game 2.
You see QXE's mouse? How old is this hardware, man?
That was a really good game though, holy shit.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Definitely surprised me here. Like, you never know what to expect from QXE. Sometimes he shows up and he just feels like he's not sure what he has to do. He plays a little bit weird and he ends up being eliminated early. But this is one of those times. Well, not yet, at least.
Yeah, not yet. He has to do it twice.
Yeah, with the way he's played here, this is actually... I would even go as far as saying that if he wins 2-0 here, he's going to have a very good chance at beating the other Protoss in his group.
Yeah, I think who's the other Protoss? Deer?
Yes. Deer will take on Jack G.
Deer...
I think beating Jack G in the TVT will be harder.
Beating Deer?
Yeah, because...
Even with the state of TVP right now?
Yeah, you just saw the state of TVP.
I saw the game, but like... It doesn't change the state of TVP just because one game QXE decides to rule Patience.
This changes everything, man. He's the chosen one.
This changes everything?
Who restored the balance.
Well, maybe this 4 Reaper opening is like... you know, something we'll see a lot more often now.
You know, this is actually something that's not very good usually, but you don't ever expect anybody to go for this because, again, this is fairly easy to counter. When you see 2 Reapers, most people will get ready. They will get enough Stalkers to make sure this cannot do any damage. But now, this was a case of Patience thinking that QXE was not capable of doing that.
Yeah. He got the really fast Stargate.
Yeah, he
didn't get enough Stalkers.
That's the thing.
And then QXE got a really nice start, killing a lot of probes.
And he forced the photon overcharge with just his Reapers. This is not supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Usually you should leave like 2 Stalkers per mineral line, plus have the Mothership Core either in your main or expansion. You're going to be completely fine, even against 4 of those Reapers. But in this case, not careful enough. With his expansion, Patience had to use the photon overcharge. And QXE said, you know what? I'm just going to attack you and do some damage here. And this was a little bit of Bomber-esque play here, where you make a lot of units, you force photon overcharge, and then you do follow-up attacks with a lot of bio. The weakness of this is that if your opponent defends really well against those units that you've invested into, you have very late medivacs to do damage with.
His medivacs were late, his 30C was late, so if Patient would have defended a little bit better, it would have been a harder position. But the second map is going to be Yonsu. What do you think about this map in TVP?
Definitely a good map for Blink play, and definitely not a map we're going to see for Reapers on. Then again, with QXE, you never know. This guy is a little bit crazy.
Could do anything, pretty much.
And getting to the game here in a moment, as you will have another chance to impress me with your introductions.
In the top right of Yonsu, the Terran who just dominated the Korean Protoss, representing United States of America and Complexity, it is QXE. And then in the bottom left, we have Patience, who is probably not that patient, looking for revenge here. Koreans always feeling very bad losing to Americans. Representing Team Alien Invasion, it is Patience.
Really, can you elaborate on that?
You know that's the thing, right? Like, Koreans, they go to tournaments together and they talk to each other in Korean. Like, I can't actually understand it, but I know what they're saying, and they're like, if you lose to a Korean, man, if you lose to a foreigner, man, then you be in shame and you cannot come back to your country because we will look down on you. That's how it is. That's how it is.
Is it?
Really, that's how it used to be. Maybe not anymore.
Okay.
But
in
at
Brood
least,
War, maybe.
Yeah, in Brood War, they were like that.
All right, QXE is going to be opening with a 12 refinery here. Again, the depot at his ramp, making sure no proxy happens. And he was going to want to have that wall as well a little bit later on. So should be a single Reaper expansion here, most likely. And Patience is going for a quick scout on this map, which I've become a big fan of. I used to never scout, but the Korean Protosses, they've learned to scout a lot, not only with probes, but also with either oracles, Mothership Core, and then hallucination. And they just react so well to everything that way.
Yeah.
So we'll see what Patience chooses to do upon seeing what he's up against, which is basically the most standard way you can open in the match.
QXC also scouting rather early this game. A little bit of harass going on. Actually, this probe is blocking any kind of reactor or tech lab, right? So, but it's going to just be a Reaper here, no reactor or anything straight away. So a little bit of a different opening. 2 gas for Patience. What do you think this means?
Yeah, after scouting this, he goes for the second gas. He could still go for a Nexus and then later on for some tech, or he could go for either a Stargate or a Twilight. Twilight most of the time would be for Blink, Stargate again for an Oracle. He's up against a Reaper, so he's made his own conclusions. He's drawn his own conclusions. Personally, I would say playing Standard's definitely a good choice here, but Patience disagrees, as he will not rush for that second Nexus. I do think that since he's doing 3+3 and he's hitting his probe, but he's up against a Reaper that's actually on the hunt right now, and which is queued right above that probe. Oh, QXC changes his mind. Oh, are they gonna meet? This is gonna be so close.
Yeah, he's gonna see the probe. He saw the probe.
I saw it.
He's gonna get the probe.
And Patience changed his mind, maybe. I'm not sure if he was ever planning on hiding something, or if he just wanted to wait for that Reaper timing to be gone to scout the expansion.
Why would he make the bunker if he saw the probe was coming in? So now he's kind of giving away the fact that he's definitely going for an expansion.
No, because he's made it in the main, and the probe didn't spot it. So right now, Patience has to wonder, is there a factory or not? So he's sending his mothership core across the map, but that means he's not going to have it back at home to defend against the Reaper.
He's got a Stalker, though.
Yeah, he's getting a second Stalker, but then that means basically the Nexus is going to be super delayed, and there is going to be a good chance he goes for Blink behind this, just because he was forced into making 2 Stalkers early on.
So this game, definitely a bit more of an economical opening for QXC, and he also made Patience play more defensive because of how the first game went. So yeah. I feel like this is a nice metagame win for QXC right now. Oh, he loses the Reaper. That's a big deal.
Yeah, and especially since Patience saw everything in the main. There went that vision range of the mothership core, man. Yeah. He saw everything without even stepping in there. So the command center saw the factory. So we could be basically seeing some standard play out of Patience from here. Basically getting the Robo, most likely a Forge behind this, second and third gateway maybe. Just making sure that you don't take any damage against those Widow Mines, possibly being dropped as well.
And he's actually doing a lot of damage to this bunker.
Yeah. It was empty for some reason. The Marines were in the main, maybe expecting some kind of Oracle play.
Yeah. What does it usually mean when Protoss goes robotics straight away? And does that mean it's going to be defensive play with forges and upgrades?
Oh yeah, in this case he only made that because he saw the factory. When you see a factory, you always get the Robo
Widow Mine drop.
Yeah, he read this perfectly right now. So Patience definitely in a much better position in this game so far than he was early on in the previous game. And adding on 2 extra gateways here, this might be a bit of a tell. He has a pylon starting across the map. If he goes for very Stalker heavy, which I think this is what he's going to be, he's going to go for a lot of Stalkers basically, defend the initial Widow Mine drop, and then counterattack with a ton of Stalkers. And this is quite deadly. If QXC is not ready, if he does not see this coming, especially he's getting an eBay right now. So as much as he's on 2 barracks, QXC has not started a starport. I wonder if QXC is playing this defensively, actually. This is interesting. Usually you always get a starport in this situation, and you drop those Widow Mines. He's burrowing Widow Mines everywhere. This is a minefield, man.
Maybe because he feels the map Yonsu is such a hard map for Terran to defend on. He's deciding to go for this build. And with the 3 gateways and a lot of Stalkers, it might actually work out, although those Widow Mines are completely in the wrong location to defend.
Yeah, but I don't know, it's weird. It's really hard to call right now. The thing is, QXC is getting a bunch of Marines. He's started Marauder production as well. He has Team Pack on the way. It's not going to be on time to help them.
Oh, that Widow Mine.
And not, okay, he's going to know. He needs to start additional bunkers. He's going to fill that one. He needs to surround it with SCVs to make sure this does not get killed. This supply depot is going to be killed. And it's going to be very hard to reinforce the natural, actually.
And he's also already supply blocked, so losing this supply depot is going to be a huge pain.
Oh, wow, yeah. He's starting 2 at once. QXC does not have enough energy yet for a call-down supply, which he will really need right now to keep on producing units. A reactor goes down on the factory. I would have liked to see maybe something like a tech lab to get some tanks out.
Yeah.
Oh, QXC does not know that there is an observer just right above this. Why don't the Stalkers go for... Oh, I think he's going to go for the bunker. With some force fields on the ramp.
He could definitely kill the bunker with the force fields on the ramp. This is really, really dangerous.
QXC is misreading this. He thinks that there is Blink. There is no Blink. See, he's up his ramp. That's not where he wants to be. This is going to be force fielded. The ramp.
Ouch.
Oh, and QXC is in so much trouble. There is so many sentries down the ramp. Actually, one of those that had force field. Actually, no one of these sentries had force field now. This is weird. Patience needs to warp additional sentries that have force field. I don't think QXC realized that there is no force fields available. And actually, there was one sentry warped, and he's going to be trapped in his main. Patience in a dominant position with that big Stalker push here.
And now Patience has the huge supply lead, 20. The natural is going to have to be lifted off. He's going to lose these SCVs as well.
The Widowmines tried to come in from behind and burn Milk this. They died behind his Patience, playing it solid, adding on 2 Forges, Robo Bay as well. He wants to take to Colossus, killing a billion SCVs right now. He's killed 14 in total, bringing himself to 45 probes against 26 SCVs. And QXC even spending a scan on that Observer. He's like, you know what? I'm so angry. Oh,
Manor Nexus! All those Manor Mules.
No,
Patience is like, screw you.
I've never seen a Manor Nexus being pulled off like this. QXC,
oh, but he's
man.
got Medivac, so he's going to be able to flank this army, but I don't think he's going to have enough.
Oh, actually, Patience going up the ramp. He knows, he's anticipating this basically happening. He goes up the ramp, and how do you drop into your own main when there is this many Stalkers? This is insane what we're seeing. He's going to go for it anyway. Patience sees it, he pulls back. QXC is escaping.
Stim is done now, but
he needs to pull SCVs. Oh, that Starport's gonna die. Alright, this is the weirdest PvT I've seen so far from these 2 games. And now he goes down the ramp and QXC is trapped in the main.
Is he gonna let that Nexus finish?
Photon overcharge, man. Killed the command center.
That's true, actually. That's actually like sick.
And QXC is gonna elevate his units. Well, actually, not sure this is the right term since they're going down, but yeah, he's trying to basically flank again. And oh, does he recall? Or does he lose everything? He's gonna maybe trade against this. This is a good trade. Oh, he recalls out.
There's a recall.
Recall back in on the Nexus. Pull the probes and recall. That would be the sickest. And Patience ends up canceling.
I mean, if you're gonna Mana Nexus, let it finish. Come on. Be a man. But still.
This is why we're casting.
40 supply difference between the 2 of them.
So
awesome
burning orbital command, actually. Yeah, QXC is still in it though. He's on 34 SCVs against 54 probes. He has the mules. He needs to repair that orbital command pretty bad right now.
3 more gateways are on the way.
Oh, he saw the Observer.
1-1 is going to get done. I feel like this is going to be followed up by a Colossus Blink all-in.
Yeah.
And it's going to be really, really difficult for QXC.
Patience, he has too many probes to really qualify this as an all-in, but I guess if he commits his entire army to a big attack...
Why would he get 3 more gateways before getting a 3rd Nexus, though?
You need this many gateways. If you just stay on 3, then you're going to be outproduced even by Terran, who's behind. So it's the right choice. He has a lot of money. If you look at the income, like it's normal to get a lot of gateways right now. Getting a lot of money. Oh, QXC, you have no idea, my friend.
Hello, Stalkers.
And actually, Blink's not finished. It's 40 seconds away from finishing.
1-1 is finishing though. And everything looking awesome for Patience as he takes his 3rd base.
Oh wow, he might be able to get a cancel on this. 20 seconds away from Blink. He's gonna have to be fast.
He does get the cancel. That's nice.
Yeah, QXC is gonna evacuate for now. I like the move. He needs to regroup now and wait for a little bit. The thing is, Patience so far ahead that he's probably gonna start 2-2 in a second. Possibly go for Storm after. This time, I'm pretty sure he's gonna be getting charged when he can. And this is a completely different game we're seeing here on this second map.
Blink just finished. Patience using his Stalkers for map control.
Oh, Blink!
Oh, wow. 2 Medivacs go down. That's a big deal.
Yeah. And actually another Manor Nexus is going to be thrown down in front of the natural of QXC. Why not?
QXC set the pace in game number 1. This is what you get. This is what you get.
If you play with fire, you get burned.
Silly Americans.
Well, what do you have against Americans, man?
I mean, it's just a typical American to do. You're playing a guy. you win the first game. It's like
everyone does this when they're winning, man.
No, not every. I don't do that. Do you do that?
Okay.
You Manor Nexus?
Oh no, I don't. Because I never win. Alright, QXC looks like he wants to go for a flank on this big army of Patience. Patience most likely going to be using some force fields to aid in this Nexus. Nexi going down everywhere. QXC steams in there. He's going to get the snipe on this Colossi maybe. No, not going to get the second one. He's trying to trade against this army of Patience, but the supply way too much right now for Patience, who's going to take the second game.
GG.
And well, if you want to drop the Manor Mules, you should expect some Manor Nexi to go down if you're losing.
Yeah, nice tensions between these guys. We'll have to see who gets the last laugh. Right now it's 1-1.
Yeah.
Manor Mules, Manor Nexus.
I just hope the Manor Nexi don't translate into a broken keyboard, because there has been some of those.
Well, QXC has had issues with his keyboard in the past. I really hope, yeah, hopefully he can keep it cool.
It's weird. In the first game, he completely dominated, and in the second game, he got completely dominated.
And in such a simple way too, like Patience saw the Reaper, then decided to go for 3 gateways, added some sentries, and it's like, hey, I can block your ramp, and you're done.
QXC really did not see this coming at all. He was getting Widow Mines continuously, which they're pretty terrible
on the bottom
against
side. What do you think he was
Stalkers.
expecting? Oracles or?
This is hard to call. He wasn't just not expecting this kind of attack because against everything else he would have been fine. But yeah, probably Oracle or Blink play.
Yeah,
that's why he put the Widow Mines like this. Makes sense, I guess, because you'll always go to this corner around the third base of the Terran to put down a pylon, make Stalkers. And if this had surprised, if Patience had gone for Blink and walked in that minefield and lost a few of his Stalkers directly, it would have been really tough for him to win. I guess you're right, because keep in mind, he had 2 barracks instead of just 1. He had 2 barracks and he was making Marauders and Marines out of a reactor.
Yeah, he was playing super defensively. And I think if he had played against a Blink attack, he would have been ready perfectly. But this was just a Stalker sentry attack, which he, I guess, wasn't expecting. So a little bit unfortunate for QXC. I don't think he made any clear gameplay mistakes. I still felt like his macro was pretty solid. Just unlucky with the build orders chosen, and a really good read by Patience. He scouted everything with the Mothership Core, and just totally countered QXC correctly and took full advantage of the force fields.
What do you think we might see on the third map, Frost here?
Well, it's a bit of a bigger map, so I think. How are the positions on this for PvT? Like, does it make a big difference how you spawn?
Not that much, I feel, to some extent. Like, if you're cross map, it's going to be harder for your opponent to be aggressive early on, but later on, like, you're okay as Protoss as far as basically harassing. You're going to be able to put pylons a little bit everywhere, send in units for counterattack if you manage to stabilize on 3 bases. But then the Terran, he will also have a lot of space to maneuver around and to do medivac drops. Whereas, for example, if it's close position, he can drop as well, and it's going to be easy for him because you're closer, but you know which direction he's going to come from a lot of the time, so it's easier to defend.
Yeah, you're not going to go all the way around most of the time.
With some nicely placed observers, you can see a lot on this map.
Yeah, here we go. It's going to be Frost, and it's 1-1 between these 2 guys. Can you do introductions this time, Todd? I want to hear you.
I'm so bad at it.
Let's see what you got.
I'll try. The Patience in QXC here looking very focused. Maybe a little bit tense too. Whoever wins here is going to use either some mules or some Nexi, man. I'm telling you. These 2. It's funny because it's the first time they play together too. Like, they don't have any history. Look at QXC smiling. He's like, the mules are coming down for you. I'm going to teach you freedom. The American way. All right, in the top left-hand side corner, he's representing the Bald Eagle. He's the American player. We have QXC. Epic music.
Epic, yeah.
His opponent, starting in the bottom left-hand side, is a Korean player who recently moved to Germany. He had some nice placement in DreamHack before taking 3rd, beating Innovation actually in it. We have AI's Patience.
Yeah. And in that DreamHack, he was using a lot of 2-base all-ins, and I feel like
he was very aggressive too.
In the last couple of months, he's kind of developed into a more a macro kind of player.
So maybe he's like Stardust V2.0. Because Stardust used to
all in only.
Yeah, basically all in a lot, and then lately he's turned into more of a macro-orientated player. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think it just goes to show that these guys are playing to their race's strengths. Like, if you remember, I told you so many times throughout your career.
It's one of those moments
that you need to all in more. And these guys were doing that when you had to all in as Protoss, and right now they're macroing as Protoss. Cause like
so right now you would say it's...
Right now macro Protoss is strong. And these guys know, because like Stardust and Patience are macroing right now.
Did you give them the advice, or did they come up to the conclusion themselves?
They came.
Why didn't you tell me I had to macro now, man? You told me to all in before. I didn't do it.
Every time I gave you advice, you kind of just got mad at me and didn't really listen.
True story. All right, Patience gonna be opening in the most standard way you can here, with just a single gas. He's gone for a quick scout again, which on this map, you want to be able to see if you're up against a quick command center first as soon as possible, in which case, a lot of the time you're going to see Protosses basically stop mining gas, go for their own Nexus, and then delay their take a little bit.
And QXC getting a little bit lucky, scouting here first, which is going to be really nice for him. Patience getting the last possible scout. And once again, QXC going for the single Reaper, so no more of that 4 Reaper shenanigans. Getting the reactor, probably going to look to add a command center. There's a Zealot being made here.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Well, you have to make it, otherwise if you get eBay blocked, then you you don't lose right away, but you're in a terrible position.
You're
so
way
in this
behind.
case, I'm pretty sure Patience wanted to cancel, but because there was an SCV on his expansion, he's like, I cannot cancel.
So it's a pretty good start for QXC right here.
It's okay. What a good start would have been is what I just talked about, blocking
Making
the expansion
eBay,
when there is no
yeah.
Zealot.
He's going to get the probe though, holy shit. Wow, he gets the probe.
Yeah, not supposed to happen.
That's a good start for him. And now he can actually micro against the Zealot until there's no Stalker being made, but the Mothership Core is on the way.
He made the Mo core instead, which is, I guess, a little bit surprising. I think Patience expected to be able to make the Nexus before the Reaper got there, in which case, even if you lose the probe, the Nexus already started. So now this was quite delayed. I too thought this was not going to be possible, but QXC doing work already early on in this game. And we have a probe leaving his base. Patience got a scout on early on. He saw that there was the factory, which is going to be very important. I'm surprised the Reaper actually is not trying to get a kill on that, but I think the priority here for QXC is to see what he's up against. Is it a Stargate? Is it a Twilight? It's going to be a Stargate. And on these positions, I don't blame him. The thing is, he's up against a factory, so Oracle versus Widowmine, this is a tricky thing to pull off. Remember what happened in previous game. QXC, he put Widowmines everywhere to make sure he wasn't going to die against Blink, All-In, or Oracle. Sadly for him, it was Mass Stalkers with Observers, which...
And this game is actually going to be probably the Oracle, so what QXC was doing last game would have been perfect against this.
Yeah.
So let's see how much last game is going to affect his playstyle now, but he's still getting the Widow Mine, so it seems like he's sticking with his build order.
Yeah.
He's not getting a starport. It doesn't seem like he actually likes dropping the Widow Mines. He seems to prefer just like a really defensive setup. And he
or
seems to
maybe
have a lot of
because he had been
confidence in
scouted,
that.
he changed his plan. He saw that the Mothership Core came in, he's like, you know what?
And the Reaper gonna peek in. Let's see if he actually finds a starport. He's gonna be able to jump. He's gonna see it for sure.
Oh, it's gonna be big. If he
That's
sees
awesome for him.
Yeah. Both players doing a lot of work to get some information in this series, and they both managed to get quite a ton. Oh, is it gonna get out? I think the Reaper's gonna be able to get out.
Yep.
6 hit points. So
very
close.
nice, very nice. And now he's gonna look for the probe, right? That would be like the perfect thing to do.
It's funny how both players know so much. Like, Patience knew he was up against a factory, still chose to go for a Stargate.
Yeah.
Now QXC knows he's up against a Stargate. How does he adapt? I wouldn't be surprised to see some turrets, but for now he's just gonna use the Widow Mines because he does not have the eBay yet. And again, double barracks plus the factory from QXC. So he's gonna play similarly, but this time he's not very far behind. He's not lost his expo, he's not lost a billion SCVs, so he's gonna be okay in this game. Oh, the Oracle! Goodbye.
Oh, yes.
Happy Valentine's
That must
Day.
feel so good. I don't even play Terran. That felt good for me.
That's because you're such a Protoss hater. Reds.
I'm an Oracle hater. Why are they so fast? Why?
Well, apparently not fast enough.
But Patience adding...
oh, look, this is... He's setting up a trap with that Widow Mine. He's going to put it on the bridge over here, maybe. Or maybe on the third base, too. QXC wants to make sure...
But there's no more Oracles. Actually,
yeah, but
Patience...
you want to block the third base. A lot of the time, I've talked about this before. When you go for a very quick Stargate, you follow it up with a Forge just to be able to get cannon and upgrades. And then you go into Templar Archives, Charge, and you skip the Robo for a long time. I think this might be what QXC is anticipating. That's why he does that. In this case, though, we have observers.
And Patience added the 4 gas very fast. He's getting the robotics bay and he's getting the +1. What kind of style do you think this build will lead into?
I told you last game.
A defensive...
Blink plus Colossus almost every single time.
But not an aggressive style, right? Because he's...
It depends. You can choose to go for the aggressive style, but here, since he hasn't seen anything, I don't think so. Usually, like when you don't have any info, maybe if he had seen, say, like a very quick third command center, he could have gone for something like 8 gates and double or triple Colossus and
cannon
big
on the way. So I feel like this is going to be a defensive. I won't do anything until I have Templars.
You know what? The best way to know if there is an all-in coming? To look at the walker count. If the Protoss stops at 46, a lot of the time it's an all-in. Now he's already at 50 and he's still making probes, so it's definitely not going to be an all-in. Patience going to get Blink most likely here in a second, start some Colossus.
Yeah. He's going to be able to defend drops with the Blink and then take a third base and play a slow macro game from here. And I feel like this is actually really cool because in the first game, QXC took a huge lead with his opening build. Second game, Patience took a huge lead with his opening build. And right now, QXC might have a small lead and he's going to go for a big attack, but it's way more even than in both previous games.
Interesting cannon placement. The back of his mineral line here. This is what I like to refer to as the in-control cannon, a single cannon ready to defend, man. Actually, that army from QXC looks quite scary right now.
Two medevacs right now.
Look at the army supply, 50 to 33.
Where's the combat shield, though?
With one Colossus, though, against Marines' heavy compositions, you're going to do very, very good. But QXC is not supposed to attack here. He's supposed to poke while taking a third. And preventing his opponent from taking another base.
Taking out that observer is actually very nice, because he does have a Widow Mine on the third base.
There is another one, though, just right above this. But I think Patience right now, he knows he doesn't have enough to take a third base yet. And when he tries to take that third base in a second, he's going to lose a lot of time, because there is a Widow Mine there.
As well here.
Oh, wow, Patience sending in Zealot to D-Mine. What? Oh, he's attacking his... This is so smart. How did he know?
Very nice move there.
I guess something blew up earlier because he knew it was there.
Yeah.
I didn't even know you could do that with just one Zealot and not even kill it. I just learned something pretty cool here.
And another pylon's going to go down. That's actually, it might seem like a small thing, but I feel like right now QXC is kind of taking the lead.
Yeah, he is. And you know what? Behind this, he's getting an armory, a second eBay. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw a second starport go down, as he's going to need a lot of Vikings to deal with this. Actually, if you think about it, right now the Viking count is only 2. We have 2 Colossus out on the field, so he definitely needs another starport, I think, to hit some kind of timing or make sure he can keep up with the Colossi count. Oh, his team's in there!
He's going into the natural. Photon Overcharge is being activated, and QXC not going to get too much done at the same time. He's going to look to move his units at the third base. He's still attacking the Stalkers.
He's trading Bioforces for Stalkers. This is great for QXC here. He's going to get right in the main. Second Photon Overcharge is forced. Actually, QXC, there's no way he can escape at this point. He should just stay there and trade. Might choose to... Oh, actually, more units being dropped in the main. I'm a little bit surprised. Yeah, it needs to go for the third here, maybe, but...
That was good defense.
Yeah, we have Colossi in position at the third base, and in the meantime, QXC, look at his macro. He's getting so many units out at the same time. He started +2 attack upgrades for his Bioforces. He has a third base saturated.
And killed him? Possibly.
You never know where the Stalkers are exactly, and in this case, they're actually not that far behind. Patience was like kind of rejoining his Colossi with those. So it will be very risky.
Nice try by QXC to attack on 2 fronts there, but Patience, too good of a player to really take damage from it.
Yeah,
and
he used
at the
that
same
double
time,
Photon Overcharge very well.
QXC is macroing very well, up about 25 supply on his opponent, and there's a Templar Archives.
Oh, that Observer almost got chased out of the vision. And it's QXC behind this, starting 2-2 that early. If he hits some kind of timings, any timing really, where he has enough Vikings to deal with the Colossi, I think he's gonna do great. He could even pull SCVs, to be honest. He's not getting a Ghost Academy just yet. He has to anticipate some kind of Charge Lot, Templar, possibly Archon composition.
Yeah, Charge now on the way, but honestly, it's not going to be done before this attack hits, and this is a very, very scary timing from QXC. He has 4 medevacs, 6 Vikings, and there's only 2 Colossus. And
the army supply, 109 to 70. And he forced double Photon Overcharge earlier. There is no Photon Overcharge available right now for Patience, but he does have the 3 Colossi against only 7 Vikings right now. So it's a really tricky fight to take for both players. And also, when you have 2-2 this close to finishing, I don't think you should ever attack.
Yeah, good point there on the upgrades, but at the same time, Charge will be done by the time you can go in next, and even scarier, there are Ghosts now on the way, and there's actually not even Storm being researched, so he's kind of ahead of the switch.
Yeah.
So QXC playing a really, really great game here.
Yeah, Patience was actually very late on the gases on that third base just because of all the pressure that was being applied to it. He's gonna add a lot of gateways. I kind of like the architecture of his main, actually. A lot of tech buildings right next to each other. There's a cannon in there to protect. The gateways are placed in such a way that nothing's gonna get stuck in there. You know, if he gets attacked, he can come back and defend quite well. Personal clocking on the way. This is interesting because QXC, he's been doing a very good job of sniping these observers. Ooh, Patience has to be careful.
And already 3 Ghosts, and there's only 1 Templar, and there's no Storm in sight.
2-2 finished. Could QXC go for a timing? He's maxed out right now, and he has a better economy. I think if he goes for a timing here and trades well enough, he's gonna have a nice lead. But we have Zealots in the meantime in his expansion, doing some damage. He needs to do a lot of damage here. QXC needs to do a lot of damage if he wants to be able to win, but looks like he might just pull back. He's thinking about it. He's focusing on defending back at home. SCVs were pulled there in his natural.
Super tense moment right now as QXC is defending the natural and also harassing the third base. It looks like he really does want to go in. Killing a few probes here.
EMP.
Oh, here we go. The big fight. The Vikings going in. The Stalkers are blinking forward. QXC with the 2-2 upgrades taking out a lot of...
The position is so much better for Patience. He gets in there, he gets a snipe on a lot of those Vikings. The Colossi are doing a ton of damage. The Nexus did tank a little bit, and the Photon was just doing quite some damage onto this army. QXC is dropping very rapidly in supply. I think Patience is gonna hold some nice blink micro behind this. He's gonna blink forward, try and pick off the Medivacs here. And in the meantime, he's held back at home. He's remained quite a big army, but Patience blocking that fourth base with a pylon, and personal clocking is gonna finish, but
all of a
there is
sudden,
one ghost left alive.
Patience is 20 supply ahead, and you know that's funny.
He might counterattack.
QXC is, that's not how QXC wanted that fight to go. He wanted to kill Patience right there. Then the Zealots came into his natural. He had to rush his decisions, and now he's in this position where Patience is actually ahead.
The position was just so much better for Patience, and now he's on full counterattack mode. You know why? The main reason is because he knows he's killed a lot of ghosts, and there is not going to be many ghosts now. So if he gets a bunch of Archons in particular, and a lot of Zealots to tank for his army, he already has the Colossus and the Stalkers to do the damage behind. So he goes for this follow-up attack, and without Ghost, man, you don't want to fight Archons and this many Zealots, or a big Protoss army. It's just going to be too hard. 84 army supply for QXC, 88 for Patience. But Patience, I do think he has the better composition with these Archons and with the two Colossi.
+3 attack is not that far away from finishing for QXC, so that might play a big role, but he has 30 supply behind.
Only 2-1 upgrades for the Protoss. This is very little upgrades here.
I feel like Patience is all in with this.
Oh, is he thinking about attacking? He needs to be careful.
Still no Storm on the way. Do you feel like this is Protoss all in?
Not completely all in. I mean, he has 3 bases and he's committing a lot to this attack. This has to do a lot of damage, but in this case, it's always going to do a lot of damage. And actually, QXC is kind of stuck in this corner, but Patience, the one pulling back, he's trying to bait QXC into a bad position that commences a little bit awkward in the middle of this fight here. QXC is not pulling STVs, his entire army is going to be flanked by those Zealots, and he's losing everything. There's too many Stalkers for those Vikings to do anything. GG gets called.
GG.
And Patience takes the 2-1 victory here after losing the first map quite hard, might I say.
Yeah, and there were actually no Manor Nexi that game. That was a really close game.
It was very, very tense.
Very close. You know, QXC, he could have won that one. Before that attack at the third base, he looked to be in a really good position. Then the Zealots came into the natural and felt like he kind of got rushed in his decisions and ended up fighting in a really bad position. But overall, you know, I think QXC played great.
The thing is, he had to make something happen at this point. Like, there was no way he could wait more. He was maxed out. It was right to fight. It's just the position in which he fought. There was the photon of a charge here really helping throughout the entire fight. And the concave, the arc that Patience had was just so much better than QXC's. The Vikings died rapidly because there were so many Stalkers, and then the Colossi were left to basically do the rest of the work. Even without Storm at this point. It was just too much. And maybe not enough Ghost yet by QXC. Do you agree?
Yeah.
I think if he had
not enough Ghost, but still, it was kind of surprising to me as not a Terran or Protoss player. Because normally without Storm, the Terran with 2-2 upgrades against 2-1 does a lot better than QXC did that fight. So I personally feel like it was a position. And
the thing is, if there was no Templars with Storm, but there was Archons, and Archons they are a pretty big deal. You never want to be fighting Archons without Ghosts. Yeah, they tank a lot. And also there was the Defender's advantage for Patience here, able to warp in new big waves of Zealots, of Stalkers to help with this, able to hold just comfortably enough overall to basically secure the game. I like the counter-attack. A lot of players here wouldn't have counter-attacked. To name a few myself, Hazuops.
Yeah, Hazuops never, of course. Yeah, it was a smart decision. Also with no Storm, no fourth base on the way, and +3 attack for QXC on the way. I feel like it was definitely the timing that Patience had there, and he had to go for it.
Yeah, this was getting scary upgrades-wise. It was 2-1 upgrades for Patience this entire game, so he was very low on upgrades. So it was a tricky position. So we're going to have a post-match interview with our winner here, Patience, and take it away, Red Eye.
Thank you very much, Todd. And right there with the commentary. With Patience, congratulations, well done. Really good game in the end. But let's talk about map 1, because map 1 didn't really go the way that you would have planned. And I guess there was some friendly banter going on between you two as well, him dropping mules on that. What were you thinking at that point?
첫 번째 게임에서 좀 힘들게 경기를 하다가 졌는데 첫 번째 맵에서 근데 거기에서 이제 상대가 지게차 그 뮬 떨구고 막 그런 걸 했었는데 어떤 느낌이 들었는지 그때
그 지게 떨굴 때 다음 판 제가 무조건 넥서스를 지어야겠다고 생각했어요.
The only thing I could think of when I saw the mules dropping is in the next game I have to do a mana nexus.
Which you did as well, which is great. So when you got through game 2, it's all tied up. It's 1-1. Were you nervous at all in the game because you were one game down? Did you feel like, oh, hang on a minute, this maybe surprised me, or were you absolutely confident that you could win the match?
0대1로 시작하고 그다음 1대1로 해가지고 이겼는데 그 다음 매치를 이겨서 근데 전체적으로 좀 불안했었는지 이렇게 지고 들어가고 이 매치를 할 때.
제가 첫 판에 좀 정신을 못 차리고 해서 그 두 번째 판부터는 정신을 바짝 차리고 해서 별로 불안한 건 없었는데 세 번째 판에 예언자가 마인에 바로 터져서 그거 질까봐 많이 불안했어요.
Actually, in the first game, I was not really focused, and so I kind of played not very well. In the second game, I wasn't nervous at all. I was sure that I can win that game. And in the third game, I was kind of nervous because I lost my Oracle, that mine. So it was a hard match, yeah.
Okay, one hard match, but you've got another hard match coming on. If you get through to the quarterfinals, do you think that you can go on and take the entire tournament at the Intel Extreme Masters?
이제 다음 경기 이기고 이제 이거 다음 라운드로 올라가면 전체 대회를 이길 자신도 있는지 어떻게 생각하는지?
전체는 잘 모르겠고 일단 16강 뚫는 게 목표라서 일단 이거만 이겼으면 좋겠어요. 다음은 좀 힘들 것 같아.
Well, I didn't really think about taking the whole thing, but my focus is on doing well in this round of 16 and going to the bracket. So I'll do my best to do that. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a preference for which player you play in the next round?
다음 경기 때 누굴 만나고 싶은지.
테란보다는 그래도 그 프로토스가 조금 더 나을 것 같아. 프로토스가 올라오는.
Yeah, actually, I would favor a Protoss over a Terran.
Okay. Thank you very much, Patience. Congratulations. Patience is the winner of our first match in Group B. Our second match is coming very shortly. But first, let's get some analysis on Game 1.
All right, guys. Well, so we're looking at game number 3 during all of this. As we can see here, after the first 2 games, a little bit of a wacky back and forth. QXC getting pretty lucky at the start of game number 1 there with 4 Reapers and doing pretty well for himself. As we now look at game number 3 and exactly what happened during all of this. But I mean, at the very beginning, he did actually get a nice Oracle kill with a randomly placed Widowmine that I assume might have been for dealing with a blink all-in at one point, but it was able to kill it off anyway. And go up until this point, in terms of the income, it's relatively even. 66 workers to 68 workers in total across the 3 bases, although QXC's main was probably soon to be mined out at this point because of how Terran actually works. But that's by the by. That's not what we're looking at here. What we're going to check on and focus on is the fight. Now, as you can already see, Zealots harassing the Natural are going to throw QXC a little bit off in terms of the focus when it comes to this fight going into the third. As we now move on towards this fight, as we can see, there's 4 Colossi here going up against 9 Vikings. They do have +1 weapons, but ideally maybe a few more Vikings in this composition would have been a bit more ideal, as the Photon Overcharge does get activated and will shoo this away for just a little bit. And then as the fight continues on here, and Patience actually prepares to go for the engagement, the entire army here of QXC, as it moves forward when he actually goes for the engage, gets very, very clumped up. So those 4 Colossi are doing a lot of damage. And it's also important to note as to how well Patience is actually focusing down these Vikings. I can't tell if you're in shot or not. Maybe you are, maybe you're not. You're trying to figure out why you lost? He is in shot. You want me to tell? I'm not sure I'm going to be able to tell you properly. I think in the end, you don't have to take this fight. Do you have to take this fight?
So I had upgrade.
You had upgrade advantage. That's why you took the fight. Here, there you go.
Okay, so basically what I was thinking, if you go right before this fight,
Yeah?
is I checked my upgrades and I had +2 done, and
Yeah.
he was at 1-1.
Okay.
And so what I'm thinking is literally
any moment his +2 armor can finish.
Okay.
And so that's why I kind of ignored this attack in my natural, and that's why I push at the third. Because I want to make sure this fight happens while I have upgrade advantage. And in the end, I think you're right. I didn't have enough Vikings, and I could have swung, instead of taking the fight here, I just swing my army up and sit above his third and deny him mining.
But Photon Overcharge for a while is like active. Did it actually? It's inactive now.
But it's Photon Overcharge. Like, to deny mining here, all you need to do is have 2 or 3 Marines and Marauders.
And you did do this. You did do this for a while.
Yes, but then the rest of my army was here, which allowed him to take the fight. Right. If I take my whole army up there, then he has to attack the whole army.
Okay.
And you concave around the top of that ramp with just a couple of units on hold position. You deny mining, and you force him to attack up into you.
So, after looking at this engagement and how it went, obviously it didn't go very well. You would have rather not have taken a straight engagement, because if you'd have sat up here and killed off probes as well, would you have lost equivalent? But is this as important to him as the second is to you, because you're mined out in your main?
The thing is, though, sitting above his third is way less attention intensive than having a fight. If I sit above his third, all of a sudden I can go back and defend this fine, because I left units at home to defend it.
Yeah.
It was just that I didn't have the focus because I wanted to make sure the battle went as well as it could. If I had taken this battle decisively, it wouldn't have mattered if I had anything in my natural. I still would have won the game.
Okay. Well, guys, that does it for the analysis here. Thank you very much, QXE. And that is it. Over to Paul.
So good. The first time I think we've ever had analysis broken down by the player that lost the game. Brilliant. QXC there with the little cameo appearance in the analysis. I don't think I can ever watch analysis the same way ever again. Talking about fun, we've had some more of your Valentine's cards come through, although I don't think we can top QXE doing analysis on his own game and telling us how badly he played. But we'll try. This one has come in from Stefan Walsh, Zyphon CG, if we can throw this one up on the screen. The reason I proxy is to be closer to you. Oh, that's so nice. I like that one a lot. We also have one more as well on here. Let me just have a look and see if I can find it. Yeah, so this one's kind of appropriate. QXC will destroy all the Koreans with the power of love. Happy Valentine's Day. Yeah, that was good. I like that one as well. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we have more action from Group B and more StarCraft 2. Don't go too far away.